Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Blessing. For those of you who have already watched my content, Body Flex with Blessing, that I release every Friday, thank you so much for being a part of my life. Thank you for being a part of my fitness journey. And I want you to know that I appreciate your support. I adore you. I see the feedback. I see the likes. I see the subscriptions. I thank you so much. And in this video today, I would like to introduce a brand new series, something different, totally different, that will be airing every Tuesday. So Body Flex airs on Fridays, and every Tuesday we'll be having this new series called Story Time. And I simply chose that name because it's what it is going to be. Interacting with people, interacting with you people when you're interested to be on the show, talking to my friends, talking to my siblings. In fact, I already have a group of friends that I podcast with. They are called the Unruly House. That is our brand name. Why we chose that name, even I will never know. But one day when they appear on this show, they'll probably share where the name the Unruly House came from. Anyway, so Story Time is basically a series about everything and pretty much nothing in particular. Yeah. So, but at this moment, I think you're wondering, I know some of you have already watched, you know me as Blessing, but you really do not know who I am. So I'll use this particular video to briefly share who I am, and then that will set the precedent for the subsequent episodes, right? So you can do that right now. My name is Blessing Naturinda, and one day I'll tell you why my parents chose the name Blessing. It has its own story, and that's a story for another day. I'm Ugandan, and in Uganda we have over 65 ethnic groups or cultures or tribes, like people call them. And I belong to one called the Bachiga. Now the Bachiga hail from Kabale in southwestern Uganda. Kabale, Rukunjiri, Bushenyi, they've spread all over. I mean, it's the 21st century and no one is really still stuck where they were born. We look for new opportunities and greener pastures. Anyway, I was born in Kabale district. A very beautiful, by the way, don't get me started on the beauty of that place because don't you agree? If you've been to Kabale before, I think you'd agree that place is amazing. The hills, the landscape, the foggy evenings, the foggy mornings, the picturesque landscape, the winding roads all the way to Kisara district. My place is beautiful. My hometown is beautiful. And one day, if you're still watching this channel, I'll take you down to Kabale district and you'll see for yourselves what I'm talking about. For those of you that have been to Kabale Lake Wanyonyi, you already know what I'm talking about. Show of hands. You'll agree. It's a beautiful place. Okay, so now, back to who I am. So my journey starts from that little village I just told you about in Kabale district. And I have always been a girl filled with dreams and desire to know more, explore more opportunities, because I have always believed that within me, I had the potential to become who I want to be. And I know that sounds cliche, but I don't know a better way to say that. And so life has been full of ups and downs and challenges, but if you have drawn the river of life before, you know that it has ebbs and flows. And you know, some days are good, some days are bad. But why I'm saying that is I want to share the journey up to where I am right now. Being on YouTube is not accidental. I'm here because previously I've been referring to myself as the news anchor on a break, and some of my friends kept bugging me and prodding at me and pushing me to go back to TV. So yes, this is where now I tell you the real story. In 2013, when I was at campus, when I was at university, at Nkomba University, in my second year, I thought to myself, it was like, you know how you go back home and think of all, you have a bubble, you're living in a bubble, you have all these dreams hovering over you, right? And you know, you know where you want to be, but you just don't know how to get there, right? I don't know if you guys have been there. So this particular day, we were talking with some friends of mine. At the time, I was volunteering with one of the local NGOs in Uganda called Reach a Hand Uganda, and I was volunteering as a peer educator or SRHR expert or volunteer. Oh, by the way, for which I was awarded. I have a very huge certificate of recognition hanging in my living room, and I take pride. I say that because I'm proud of that journey. I'm proud of that girl who would stand before groups of teenagers and talk to them and share experiences, get to talk about topics that were otherwise forbidden in society, in Ugandan society. You talk about teenage pregnancies, you talk about menstruation period, you talk about sex and abstinence, etc. Okay, so while I was volunteering at Reach a Hand Uganda, I came across some prominent figures from the media industry, and they thought I was well-spoken. Well, that's what they thought. They thought I would make a good journalist. They thought I would make a good news anchor. And they asked if I wanted to give that a shot sometime. And I told them that I wasn't pursuing a degree in journalism or media. I told them I was doing a course in public administration and management. And all they said was, well, you could do that at school, but you can as well venture into this. If it works out, which we think it will, who knows? So in 2013, I decided, in 2013, I decided to apply to one of the local TV stations in Kampala, and that was all it was. I applied, my application was received, and I didn't get a call back until a year later. But I will tell you that even throughout that year, that 1 year period, I didn't care. For me, it was, I've taken the first step, which is application. Whatever happens after that, I still have a year at university. Life isn't that bad, okay? I've also just realized that I'm running out of light because it's 6:30 while I record this video. Anyway, we continue. So I didn't get a call back for a whole year until 2014, mid-2014. This bird's outside. So when I was called, I had one of those moments. It was one of those, are you kidding me kind of moments, because the guy called, and from the other end of the line, he's like, hello, my name is Chigozi, and I'm calling you from Record TV Uganda. Am I talking to Blessing? I'm telling you that we've selected you or chosen you. I don't even remember the proper words he used, but it was like as though I'd been selected, right? So he asked if I was flexible the next day to go for an interview, and your girl here is always ready, okay? I remember the next day I had plans to go to Kawempe, some other place where I was working, but I was like, no way. So I went to Record TV, I did a screen test. The next day I was called for oral interviews, which I did and nailed, and the third day I was asked to start working, and that is how I ended up in the media industry. And I worked at Record TV for a period of 4.5 years, and it was nice to be recognized, called to cover climate change stories with decision makers and the stakeholders. It was nice while it lasted. I decided to take a break at the end of the year 2017 to venture into something different, and that was still in media, but more behind the scenes, more behind the camera. And that is how I ended up at Malaika Media Uganda, where I'm currently employed. That is where I'm working as production coordinator, and I wanted a new challenge. I wanted something that was going to when you go to bed, when you go to sleep, something that wakes you up like in the middle of the night, tickles you to wake up and read. You want to do more. You're hungering for more. You're desiring more. And so I took up, when the opportunity presented itself, I took it on with open hands. And I started working at Malaika Media Uganda. It's been a year now. I love the experience. I have learned how to I've basically learned everything about production, you could say, the pre-production, production, and then post-production. I do editing, I do voiceover narrations. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of them all. Don't get this wrong. Fast forward to the mid last year, 2018, and my friends and those who had watched me on TV, those who would come across my presentations on the internet, they kept asking why I had decided to take a break so early. That's what they said. I guess we're so used to people in Uganda staying in office for over 40 years, all pun intended. So when All pun intended. So when it's as if when you leave a job, when you're still desired or your services are still required here, it shocks people. Anyway, so my friends kept asking why I'd taken the break so early, and they requested, I promise it was a request, they requested that I get back in front of the camera. The requests kept coming in, and one day I decided to listen and put into practice. My friends kept pushing me to keep creating content. They felt like the world had not seen enough of me within that period, and they thought there was still much more potential in me that I hadn't exhausted. So they pushed and actually and advised that I should start a YouTube channel where I will share content. So I decided, then I replayed in my mind the things that I was passionate about, and one of the things that I was passionate about was fitness. I checked that off and I decided to start with fitness, and I called that particular segment Body Flex with Blessing. Everyone was so happy. I have seen the feedback and I'm like, we're good to go. And then I thought again, but wait a minute, Body Flex as a fitness series doesn't allow me to fully share with you what I would like to share outside of fitness. And this is how Storytime with me, with Blessing, was born. And so here I am on YouTube. My YouTube channel has been in existence since 2012, and it has just been serving as an archive for my stories and anything that I feel like putting up on the internet. But now I've started taking it seriously because I would like for you, my friends, and you, my new friends, and you who I have never met, but you're here, you spend your time watching my content, I would like for us to connect on a more personal level. It's getting dark. It's getting dark and I have to go make dinner for my siblings and I have no idea how you got here, but now that you're here, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.